Hello, today I'll talk about the argument style that is most effective for my character and the rhetorical devices I prefer to use when presenting a persuasive opinion. In our class material, persuasive speech is explained as a type of speech designed to convince the audience to accept the speaker's point of view. We also learned that there are three types of persuasive speech: factual, value, and policy persuasive speech. Among three, I think factual persuasive speech fits my character the best. This style is based on facts, research, and established ideas, and it is especially common and powerful in STEM fields. Personally, I am not the type of speaker who persuades people mainly through strong emotions. I feel more comfortable persuading people step by step with clear evidence. Especially in engineering and science, I believe the data shows this is much stronger than simply saying I feel this is right. The most important appeal for me is logos. Logos means using logic and reason to support an argument. When I present my opinion, I prefer to introduce the problem first, explain why it matters, and then support my claim with evidence and data. For example, instead of only saying this method is better, I would compare efficiency, stability, costs, and experimental results. However, I also learned an important point from the class material. People are not persuaded by logos alone. If the speaker does not have credibility, the audience will not listen. Also, if the audience does not care about the issue, they will not accept the logic. So, while logos is my main strategy, I think ethos and pathos are also necessary. Ethos is about credibility and trust. When I give a persuasive speech, I try not to exaggerate. I also try to separate what I give a persuasive speech, what I know clearly, from what I am not completely sure about. I think this makes the speaker more trustworthy. Pathos is the emotional appeal. I do not usually use dramatic emotional language, but I think some emotional connection is necessary. For example, when discussing energy issues, it is not enough to mention only efficiency numbers. If I connect the issues to blackouts, environmental damage, or public safety, the audience can understand why the problem matters. The rhetorical devices I prefer to use are comparison, rhetorical questions, and repetition. Comparison is useful because it clearly shows the difference between two methods or ideas. Rhetorical question helps the audience think for themselves. For example, asking, "Can we really afford to ignore this problem?" can make the audience pay attention. Repetition is also effective because it helps the audience remember the main message. In conclusion, the most effective argument style for me is factual persuasive speech. I prefer to persuade through logic and data, but I also want to use ethos and to build trust, and pathos to show why the issues matter. I believe persuasion is not about forcing people to agree. It is about helping them understand and accept an idea logically. Thank you.